Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary is a Xbox 360 remaster of the 2001 sci-fi FPS Halo Combat Evolved, released for the game's 10th birthday. I myself recently picked this up and beat it for the first time, having never played the original, and I think my biggest issues with this game is that I didn't play it at launch, nor was it my first Halo game. Reach was my first, actually, and whether you love or hate Reach, there's no denying it's a bit more advanced. Is that the word I'm looking for? I mean, it has better graphics, more weapons, and more power-ups, including a sprint power-up. It also has the firefight mode and the ability to customize your character. I do remember picking up CE Anniversary and playing it once or twice in middle school and just being really disappointed, as I expected it to be more like Reach, with cool power-ups like a jetpack or a bubble shield, and also being disappointed with the smaller weapon selection and the lack of firefight, so I kinda just put it down and never touched it again until now. It'd be kinda like if Black Ops 2 was your first Call of Duty. You can sprint, customize your campaign loadout, and make decisions that impact the story. Then you turn around and play Call of Duty 3, where none of these things are present. It's just a bit harder to appreciate the older games when you're used to newer features, which was kind of my mindset in middle school. So I think just not playing this game when it came out and playing Reach first made it a bit harder to appreciate everything that Combat Evolved has to offer, but I did my best, and overall had a good time. Although being 100% honest, I've never been a huge fan of Halo, with the exception of Reach, and while this game is very well designed, it just wasn't for me. Combat for me in Halo has pretty much always been just okay. Do I see why people love it so much? Yes, but I'm just not big into it, with one reason being the inability to run, and another reason being the fact that you can't aim down your sights, except with the pistol and the sniper rifle, and even then, you exit ADS every single time you get shot, which is something I always disliked in Halo. Quick note here, I have played every Halo on Xbox 360 except for the two top-down shooters, and I did play Halo 2 in middle school, but I'd only previously finished ODST and Reach. But back to combat, it's overall enjoyable, but I found it a little dull at times on longer levels in my opinion, backed by the not huge weapon variety, which again, I think is just part of me not playing this at launch, as I was kinda expecting a bigger arsenal, and enemies could be a little bullet spongy at times, especially on normal difficulty. Now pause here for a second. I initially tried to play this game on normal difficulty, but it just kept crashing over and over. I ruled out the possibility of it being my disc, as it's overall in good condition. I did some research, and apparently quite a few people had some issues with this remaster crashing, with a couple people suggesting maybe the RAM got full. So I turned down the difficulty to easy, thinking that if firefights got finished quicker, there'd be less strain on the RAM. And my theory seemed to work, as I got 0 crashes on easy difficulty, but I got 4 when trying to play on normal, 2 of which resulted in me having to restart levels from the very beginning after significant progress, which did not amuse me. And I honestly had more fun playing on easy, just blasting through everything with the assault rifle and or shotgun, tossing nades around. I was really disappointed that I couldn't use energy swords though. That thing was really fun to use on Reach, and it looks awesome. And speaking of enemy weaponry, Combat Evolved has a pretty good enemy variety. Grunts, a couple forms of elites, some big alien dude with a shield, etc. And all the enemies were very creative and well designed, no doubt. Especially the elites. I've always thought that they looked cool. The story to this game was overall pretty good, and I highly recommend anyone who has not read The Fall of Reach go check it out. Even if you don't like Halo, that book is 100% worth reading, one of the best novels I've ever read, and the film adaptation was decent. Going back to gameplay, I want to talk about vehicle driving. I know a lot of Halo players love the vehicle sections, but I myself could just never really get into it. Why? I don't know. Just not something I enjoy. Do I see the appeal? Sure, it's just not my cup of tea, but I do have a feeling that the vehicle driving in some ways influenced the monster truck levels on Duke Nukem Forever. Graphics-wise, this remaster looks great, and so does Cortana, and you can switch back to the OG graphics with the simple push of a button, which I did every now and then. I wish I could have been there to see it at launch though. No doubt it was amazing and left a large mark on the gaming world. The soundtrack was pretty good, along with the voice acting. It was always nice finding an extra shield power-up or the occasional temporary cloaking device. I must say I prefer the power-ups on Reach though. Now, I know that one major selling point of this game back in the day was its multiplayer, which I believe was shut down a couple years ago, although I doubt it would have had any significant impact on my personal experience, as I very seldomly play PvP games. I guess that largely covers everything. I paid about $10 for a used CIB copy, and I'd overall call it money well spent. If you were to ask me to give this a grade by my scale, I think I'd give it a 9.5 out of 10 by design, but an 8.1 out of 10 by my personal opinion. It has the makings of a great game, yes, but I'm just not a huge fan personally. A final note for my review is that I always liked the cover art of this game. And yeah, Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary. No doubt the original had a massive impact on the first-person shooter genre, and games like Killzone, Area 51, and Alien Rage probably would not exist without it. As far as similar games I could suggest, I don't know, maybe the game Area 51 that I just mentioned, or maybe Singularity, if you want a sci-fi shooter with a more COD-like feel to it. Hidden gem of the 360 era. And that's all from me for today, I guess. Today's video comes from a recent poll where I asked my viewers which of 4 games I should review, with Combat Evolved Anniversary barely scoring the win over Doritos Crash Course. Well, thanks for watching. Sorry if I ticked anyone off. And a serious question, what made the original game so appealing to you back in the day? Curious, as I hadn't yet been born when it first released. And for anyone new to my channel, I mostly play, review, and discuss zombie and horror games, so feel free to check out some of my other content if that maybe sounds interesting. I hope everyone has a great day. Always remember that Jesus loves you all very, very much. Thanks again for watching. Take it easy, y'all. Peace.